Although artificial intelligence, or AI, has been widely adopted in various applications, it remains a challenge for researchers and teachers to effectively apply it to educational settings. What kinds of applications of AI in education can be made? Who are the potential researchers for such studies? In this keynote speech, Professor HWANG Gwo-Jen, Chair Professor at the Taiwan University of Science and Technology, not only introduces the basic concepts and potential applications of AI in education, or AIED, but also proposes several strategies for conducting AIED research and for applying AI in school settings and professional training.
I'm very happy to have this opportunity to give a talk about research topics, challenges, and experimental designs of AI in education. What is AI? I think this is what we first need to know. AI refers to a computer program with the ability to perceive, reason, and solve problems like human beings. In the early time, we categorized AI research into several domains, such as intelligent systems games, like chess, AlphaGo, and robots. I think we can buy robots from some store, and all computer vision, natural language, and as we know, ChatGPT is a very excellent system with a natural language ability. Also problem solving, expert systems, neural networks, or deep learning, also some voice or image recognition systems. So I searched the data from the scopus, and we found that in the early time, there were less than 10 publications regarding AI in education. However, in recent years, every year, there are more than 1,000 publications. This implies that AI in education research has attracted more and more attention. Also, if we look at 6 well-recognized SSI journals of educational technology, we can also find the same situation. These 6 journals include Computer and Education, ETS, IOE, BJET, ETIND, and the Journal of Computer Assisted Learning. So this is the time, I think, for doing AI in education researches. And what kinds of papers have been published in SSI journals? I would like to mention a little bit about this. Number 1 is review papers. Why? Because when you conduct a systematic review, you don't need to know much about AI technology. You only need to collect data from the academic database like Web of Science or Scopus, then you can conduct your analysis on the data you collect. So, too many. The second is to investigating learner or instructors' perceptions or acceptance of AI in educational settings. This is also too many because we can use some questionnaire to collect participant feedback and to see if they accept using AI in the class or in school. That's also too many. And the position paper is good, but too challenging to be accepted. You can write a position paper and say, okay, this is my opinion about how to use AI in education, and then you submit a paper to a well-recognized journal and then get rejected immediately because the editor might say, but you did not provide any evidence. That's your own opinion. So unless you are invited to write such a position paper, otherwise, I would suggest that you don't need to try to write such paper. And then experimental studies. That's what I try to say today. Not many, and this kind of studies are with great potential. But of course, it is sometimes more challenging to do that. And to prove that there are already too many review papers, I just list some of my papers. And these are all review papers regarding AI in education. In fact, in the past 5 years, I published more than 30 review papers in SSI journals. But I'm not saying you cannot do that. You can still do that if you find a good topics. So who are the potential researchers of AIED research? Everyone. So I have categorized research into two groups. The first group is researchers who can develop AI systems, computer science people. And then the second group is the researchers who use AI, but who cannot develop AI systems. It's okay. You can still do research about AIED. However, the challenge to those two groups of people are quite different. Different people have different challenge. So let me talk about the challenge to those computer science researchers. They might know how to develop a very good AI system, but they do not know how to prove the system is effective. I frequently receive some submissions from the computer science researchers. They develop very good AI systems, and then they use some questionnaire to ask students, are you satisfied with the system? And then the student fill in the questionnaire, and then they make conclusion. 90% of the students are satisfied with this AI system, and then they submit the paper, and then rejected immediately by the editor. Then the reason is that the evaluation section is shallow. You did not use a very formal way to prove that the system can benefit students in improving their learning performance. You did not do that. They are satisfied, only satisfied, but satisfied does not prove anything. So this is the problem. So they don't know how to design an experiment to prove that. So it is not good enough to just say students are satisfied. Also, it's not good enough to compare the speed and accuracy of AI algorithm, or I propose two AI algorithms, or one is more efficient than the other. But you still did not prove that the algorithm or the system can benefit students to improve their learning performance. You still did not prove that. So here is my suggestion to those computer science researchers. You need to learn to design a quasi experiment. What is a quasi experiment? You can find two classes of students taught by the same teacher, and then one class, we call it experimental group, learn with your AI system. The other class, we call it control group, learn with the conventional approach. And then you compare the performance of the two classes of students. And then you use some statistical analysis method to show that the students who use our AI system have better learning performance than those that with conventional approach. Then, okay, you success. You can submit the paper to well-recognized SSI journal. But I do not guarantee anything. But at least I think you have more opportunity to be accepted. I will give you an example about how we do that. This is a paper. We developed a fuzzy expert system-based adaptive learning approach. In this system, we are able to adapt the learning path for individual students based on their learning performance. For example, in one unit, if the student does not have good performance, then we try to provide a more detailed, a more learning content to them. But if the students are high achiever in that unit, then we provide some advanced learning content to them based on their cognitive level. Also, if we find that the student does not pay attention to the learning content, then we will detect that, and we will use some part of menu to warn the student, please be patient, or please be focused on the learning content. So we take into account not only the cognitive level of the student, but also their affection status. So this is the point. So to prove that the system is effective, we design an experiment with 3 groups of students. The first group learn with the adaptive learning system with affection and cognitive performance analysis mechanism. So they learn with the learning system, and the learning content is designed for the individual student based on their affection and cognitive behavior. And then the second is only adapt the learning content based on their cognitive performance, not affection performance. The other group learn with the conventional learning system. And then we try to use a statistics analysis method to compare the performance of the 3 groups. This is ANCOVA result. As we can see from this table, the upper table, this is about the learning achievement test. The students who learn with the system, taking into account both their cognitive and affective status, have much better learning outcome than those who learn with the system, taking into account only the cognitive status. And the student who learn with the conventional system. So A is bigger than B and A is bigger than C. If you are a computer science person, you deliver a very good system, you need to do something like this. So your paper can be accepted by an SSCI journal. There are other challenges to those non-technical background researchers. So for those educational technology or educational background researchers, they might need help in implementing or finding available AI-based learning systems. If you are such a researcher, I would not encourage you to pay much money to some company and ask them to implement a system for you, because I think 90% you will fail. You will fail in developing a system. Why? Because they don't know what you need. Although they have some technique, they know how to program the AI system, but they don't know what you will need. So the result is you pay a lot of money and you get nothing. That's the result, because I try. Don't do that. You can cooperate with some colleague who is a computer science background, and you can do the research together. I think that's a better solution. Also, you can use the existing AI system already published by other companies. For example, you can download an AI chatbot from the Google Store and then use that in your research. That would be great. But before doing that, you need to know what AI is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to distinguish which one is AI system and which one is not. Although many systems also call intelligent plus. But the system named intelligent ... does not mean that they are AI systems. So I would suggest that you, knowing the definition of AI and the function of AI, and also learn to identify whether an application is AI related or not. Also, we need to learn to search the applicable AI systems, maybe from the Google Store or from some other place. So there are broad sense definitions and narrow sense definitions of AI. From the narrow sense definition, an AI system needs to be able to learn on its own. Just like we see those movies, a robot can learn on their own, and then finally the robot rule the world. That's a narrow sense definition of AI. But fortunately, we usually use a broad sense definition of AI. As long as the system can perceive, reason, and solve problems like human beings, then we say, okay, that's an AI system. It's easier. There are lots of technology can be used to implement AI systems. One of the technologies is statistical learning. So if you use some statistical methods to make some inference, to make some prediction, to make some judgment, then we say, okay, this is an intelligent system, it's an AI system. So don't worry about that. As long as the program or the application you found can perceive, reason, and solve problems like human beings, then we say that's an AI system. So I would suggest that educational technology researchers try to learn to search for those intelligent systems, such as some systems that can do image recognition. Image recognition is a classical application of AI. Or voice recognition, yes, it's also. So there are some chatbots that can talk to people, maybe in English, and that's AI chatbot. Of course, I just mentioned that we can cooperate with some computer science researchers and to develop the system for us. That will be fine. And usually, what we can find is the system that can have the function of image recognition or voice recognition, or some systems that can make decision or make recommendation based on the condition they are faced, or to solve some problems. So this is a typical AI system. AIED is an English chatbot. It can talk to students about day-to-day interaction, and then it can let students practice in asking questions or answering some questions, and it discuss some specific topics. It can also let students learn grammars, and you don't need to pay. This is free. You can download it just from the Google Store. So yes, we can use such an existing application or system in our study, and we can conduct a very good study and publish a very good paper based on those existing systems. That's why I encourage you to try. Also, this is another system called Xing Se, shape and color. It uses image recognition technology to recognize the photo, the flower or plant you found in the field trip. So usually we let students for maybe natural science courses activity, and they let students to have a field trip and to find some plants in some particular area, and the student can take photo on the plant of the flower, and the system immediately recognize what kind of flower it is, and then connect to the database, and then can show up the detail of the flower or the plants. And also the system use GPS to record in what location the student found the flower. So when the student complete the free trip and goes back, the system will summarize what they found. And then they can make a presentation to their classmates. Okay, I have found something in this area, and then can discuss why such kind of flower show up in this area. Of course, it can also identify some fruit like banana. So this system is very powerful and it's free. You can just download it from Google Store and use that in your study. So you can say, I'm an AIED researcher because I use some AI systems in my study. Here is some AIED research topics I recommend. Number one is still review, systematic review. But I have just mentioned, you need to find a good topic. And this is what I have done. AI e-learning, I really published that in ILE. And this is a paper about AI in mathematics, education in mathematics. And this is about AI in language learning, also in ILE. This is about AI in mobile learning. And I think if you try to do some review study, I have to say that review study usually will gain many citations because people like to read review papers. But it is quite challenging for a review study to be accepted by a well-recognized journal. So if you try to do review study, you need to follow my instruction. First, you need to find a good research topic. You need to determine the main thing. If you want to do something about AI in something, you need to find that something. AI in some particular domain. Avoid choosing a very big topics. Why? Review of AI in education. And then you need to review more than 1,000 papers every year. And if you want to review 10 years, you need to review 10,000 papers. But when you finish reading the 10,000 papers, there are already more and more papers published. Then you need to review those and you publish again, and then you will never finish your review. So don't try to review a very big topic. And then we need to determine the data sources. Usually we choose Scopus or WOS. That's what most of the SACI journals publish. We read the most frequently. And also we can specify what we review is based on the publication in some well-recognized journals. For example, the Q1 journal, you can specify that. I only review the papers published in Q1 journal because they are with the best quality. And you can say that, you can do that. You need to determine the time for the review. The past 10 years, or the past 5 years, or the past 20 years, or the whole life, your whole lifetime. It depends on the number of the paper you find. If you can only find a few papers, then you need to review a whole lifetime. So it depends. And then if you already determine the main thing, you need to choose the keyword. Be careful when you choose the keyword. You need to refer to the literature. For example, if you want to review AI in e-learning, we need two sets of keywords. One set is for searching for AI article. The other set is for e-learning article. So this is AI, this is e-learning, and we add the two together and put in the Scopus OWS database to search for those articles about AI in e-learning. And then how many publications to be reviewed? If you use the keyword set to search from the database and you find that the number of publications match the keyword list is around 30 to 120, it's good. Too few, it's not, maybe another time to conduct a review study. Too many, as I mentioned, you might not have enough time to complete it before the new publications come up. So when we conduct the study about mobile collaborative learning, we find out that 90 journal publications, and then we publish the study. Review of mobile learning study in nursing education is about 97. Because mobile learning study in nursing education is not much. So we review from 1971 to 2016, because the number is not many. And this free learning in medical education, we only review for maybe 10 years. There are 60 journal publications. And AI in e-learning, there are 86 journal publications. And AI in mathematics, only 43. That is the number we can afford to complete the review. And following that, you need to report the whole process of how you determine the target article to be included in your review study. You need to show the whole process. We call that Prisma flowchart. You need to present this chart to let reviewer or other readers know how you determine the 86 articles. And then you need to use a model, a theoretical model, to support the following step. Usually, I will use this model. We call it technology-based learning model. In this model, how can we perceive technology-enhanced learning? We can perceive technology from the research purpose and issue, and then from the learning domain, application domain, and also the sample groups, and also the learning strategies, and also the technology adopted, and also the research methods used in the article. So we can analyze an educational technology article from those dimensions. That's the theoretical model. And this model is proposed by me in 2019. So this is an example of using this model for conducting a review. And following that, you already know which dimension you need to analyze. Then for each dimension, we need to have a coding scheme. So for example, sample group could be elementary school students, junior high school students, higher education students, teachers, or mixed groups, or non-specified, or something like that. So we need to determine this coding scheme, and then we can start our coding. I just let you know that if you want to conduct a review study, there are several standard steps that you need to follow. And I would recommend another research. We call it experimental research. In this research, it's not difficult, as I just mentioned. You need to find two groups of students. One group learn your AI system. The other group learn with the conventional approach. And before that, you need to have a pre-test or pre-questionnaire to ensure that the two groups have the equal starting point before the learning. And then following that, one group learn with your AI system, the other group learn with conventional approach. And after that, you let them have a post-test to compare their achievement during the learning process. And then you can say, okay, after this experiment, I can conclude that using AI system can benefit students more than conventional approach in terms of their learning achievement or their motivation or their learning attitude. This is an example about that. For example, AI-supported inquiry-based learning, and this is conventional inquiry learning. for AI-supported project-based learning or conventional project-based learning. I think it's a basic experimental design for AIED. However, I would like to do the next form of research. For example, this is a study published in BJET. It's a good journal. And we try to compare the students who learn with AI chatbot with those learning with conventional approaches. So this is the experimental group who learn with the AI chatbot, and this is the control group who learn with the traditional instruction. And we use pre-test and pre-questionnaires, post-test and post-questionnaires to compare the performance and perception of the two groups of students. Where did this AI chatbot come from? This is a chatbot to educate people about COVID-19 and by the Taiwan government. So we did not develop this system. You can find this online. It's a public application announced by Taiwan government just to tell people what is COVID-19 or how to avoid infected by COVID-19 or something like that. So my student used this application in her study. And then we find the results good. It's much better than using a traditional instruction. The message I try to deliver is that you don't have to implement the AI system on your own. As long as you can find some useful AI application, then you can conduct AIED research. That's why I try to tell you. And the result is quite good. This is called artificial intelligence supported art education. We use deep learning approach to help students to learn artwork appreciation. So my student is an art teacher. So as you can imagine, she cannot develop an AI system. So we cooperate with some computer science colleagues who can develop a system and say, let's work together. And then we publish this paper. So I would recommend that you can also design such an experiment. Control group learn with the AI system. And experimental group learn with some learning strategies with the AI system. Why? For example, in Taiwan, we frequently use AI chatbot in English classes. Just let students learn to talk with the chatbot. Then the student need to record the process, how they interacted with the chatbots, record the log, and then send a log to the teacher. So the teacher scores the student's interactive process based on the log the student provided. So, in my opinion, AI application should be the control group because it's already quite popular in the educational setting in Taiwan. So we put it in a control group. But what happened to the experimental group? We need to have something better, right? So we try to use, concept map to work with AI application. This is the AI chatbot called Replica. You can download that also from Google Store. Now you know what I try to tell you. And this is another example. We try to help students to have better English writing performance using an existing system. So we did not develop the English writing supported system. We use the existing system. And in this study, the experimental group and the control group all use the AI system. So in the experimental group, we use and we call it a reflect thinking mechanism with the AI system. As you can see, that this system is developed by a China company called 蓝墨云班课. This is an English writing supported system. The system can score student English writing and give them some feedback. So what we have done is we guide students to make some reflection when they're using the system. And for the control group, they just use the system without any additional guidance. That's what we done. And the result is quite good. As you can see, most groups using this AI approach, but we use a reflect thinking promotion mechanism, just guide them to make reflection before they revise their articles and resubmit their articles. And this is a study conducted by one of my students. He tried to integrate dynamic assessment into a speech recognition. So in this study, the two groups all use speech recognition for learning English speaking. But one group use dynamic assessment. The other group use conventional assessment approach. And that's the only difference between the two groups. So as you can see that we did not develop new system. This is existing English speaking system. So of course we can conduct AIED research for other topics such as AI literacy or AI ethical issues. I think these are also important research issues for educational technology. And what to present in an AIED article, I think I don't have time to teach you how to write an AIED paper. No. But at least you need to present why using an AI-based system is needed. At least no matter the AI system is used by the control group or the expert group, you need to say that why we need to, of course, usually I will say, because we need personalized learning support, right? Because in conventional approach, we almost cannot provide students personalized support. So this is the easiest way to state the background and motivation of your studies. And in the literature review section, we need to define what AI is in your study. So you need to use those broad sense definitions of AI. And I would like to briefly tell you the biggest publisher in the world, Elsevier, have published a new journal called Computer Education Artificial Intelligence. I am the editor. I'm an editor-in-chief of this journal. This journal is now Q1 in Scopus, and we are trying to apply it for SSCI, but I think it takes time. Also, Q1 SSCI journal called ETS just announced yesterday. They won some paper about generative AI in education. It's great, right? Do you know why it's great? Because you need to know what is generative AI. ChatGPT is generative AI, so you don't need to develop a ChatGPT, right? You just use ChatGPT in your study. So I am the sim-based editor of these cover papers. In these cover papers, the submission will be reviewed by at least 2 expert reviewers. I think this is what most of journals do. And then expect that the first round review will be complete within a month. And the accepted papers will be published in coming regular issues. And also some select papers will be published in a book. So we try to publish a book about generative AI. And I think most of the submission will be related to ChatGPT, I think. And for more detail, please refer to this link. You can also find a website of Educational Technology Society. You can find the announcement of these particular cover papers. And if you are interested in AIED, I will recommend some articles for you. You can also send email to me. I will provide you the PDF of these articles. And my conclusion is that developing new AI technology are not the main focus of AIED research. I'm not trying to ask you to develop AI system. No. How to use the existing AI system to provide the personalized learning support or to help students learn better is the main focus of AIED research. So everyone can do that. This is my presentation. Thank you.